Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Shout out to Hispanics causing panics.
Hispanics causing panic. I'm glad to be here.
Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
Of Hispanics causing panic. All right.
You mean you don't have to give me another introduction, bro?
No,
Cool,
not you.
The
The one and the only David Benavidez. La Bandera Roja.
How you doing, guys? First of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for inviting me to the show, man. But everything is going great, man. Everything is amazing. I'm training already, waiting for my fight August 28th, and we're just training extremely hard and can't wait for the next fight.
Man, absolutely. Beeb, take it away.
Yeah, David, I had an interview with Demetrius Andrade a couple of days ago, and I mentioned your name because, if I'm not mistaken, you're ranked #1 by the WBC right now. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, sir.
And he was talking about, trying to position himself to get that Canelo fight, and I mentioned your name, and I said, well, if you fight David Benavidez, you can take that #1 spot if you beat him. But then he said, well, that's a big fight. That's a big fight. We're going to need big money. He didn't sound too enthusiastic about taking on the challenge. What are your thoughts on Demetrius Andrade? Obviously, you got other things going on up at 168, and he would have to come up to challenge you. But would that fight make sense to you at any point in time? And what are your thoughts on how he answered my question?
Of course that fight makes sense. I feel like everybody now thinks that the only big fight there is to be made is them versus Canelo. Whatever the fighter may be, whoever it might be, from Charlo to Caleb Plant to Demetrius Andrade. But for me, it's very simple. I'm here to fight the best, and if somebody considers themselves the best, then that's the type of person, or that's the person I want to fight. Demetrius Andrade, he's a great fighter. I've been watching him since he came out, since I was a little kid. I was like 12 years old when I first seen him fight. So, I think he's a great fighter, and I would love to fight him. And, if I could beat Demetrius Andrade, which I think I can, that would be a great fighter to have on my resume. So, for me, I'm willing to fight whoever. I'm the #1. I got the #1 spot, for the WBC, and I'm fighting another title eliminator. So, I think it's just going to solidify myself as the #1 contender. So, I don't know. I'm just here to give you guys the best fights you guys want to see, whether it's with Canelo, Caleb Plant, all of them. I'm just ready. I'm just, working to get the opportunity to get in the rings with the guys and, just give you guys a great fight with whoever it may be.
Absolutely. I want to kind of, because speaking of that interview, I heard it. Guys' energy seems to change when your name is mentioned. Like they start talking about their health, they start talking about their life, they start talking about how like they need to really be compensated to fight you. Almost like they need like a retirement plan. I don't know what they want, because he said he needs substantial money to fight you. How much? Like I don't know how much he wants, but how much would you need a lot of money like to fight an Andre? Like, are you concerned about that?
I've been making, for each fight, I've been making probably about since like 3 years since I won the belt. I started out when I won the belt, I made $500,000. Then of course it keeps going up. I think the highest I've been paid is 1.2 million. But I'll fight him for 1.5 or whatever. It really doesn't matter to me. I just want to stay in there and fight. If it means taking less money to get a bigger fight, after, then I'll obviously do it. But I think people now, they just want the big money. Everybody now, for some reason, wants $6 million, $7 million, without any pay-per-view or without, any type of like excitement or nothing. But I don't know, man. I'm just trying to work my way to the top. I want to be the best of the best. I want to prove myself. I'm the youngest guy in super middleweight division that's at the top right now. I'm the #1 contender. I just turned 24 years old, and I'm not asking crazy amounts of money to fight these other people. I'm not asking crazy amounts of money to fight Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, Caleb Plant. Honestly, I just want to get in there at the end of the day, because I know I'll beat them. And I know as the more champions I beat, the more great contenders I beat, the higher I'll get paid. So for me, it's not really all about the money right now. It's just about the opportunity. And then, like Floyd Mayweather, like I said, Floyd Mayweather, when he was champion for so much years, when he was with Top Rank, I think the most he was getting was $750,000. That's why he left Top Rank. But at a time, he wasn't asking for millions of dollars, and he was still beating everybody. He was still pound for pound. So I feel like you know, if the idols I've had since I've grown up watching boxing, that's how they were, then that's how I got to be. I can't be more than what my idols were or ask for more money than they did at the time. And I think you just need to put in the work. And, you know, the last man standing always ends up with the most money. And that's how I'm going to be. I'm going to be the last man standing. I'm going to be, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to earn it to get the in the millions. So, I mean, like I said, I just got to be the last man standing and it'll come.
Now, Frank Yeager in the chat says Charlo plan are ducking you, David. Benavidez Canelo at State Farm Stadium in Phoenix would be lit. Well, what are your thoughts on that? I mean,
I'm excited, man. I feel like the thing I got going for us right now, or for me, is that the people, they really want to see me fight Canelo. You know, it's not only just the people; it's actually like boxing experts or boxing legends like Julio Cesar Chavez. You know, all these people, all these great boxers like Mike Tyson. They said that I'll probably be the hardest fight that Canelo has right now. So I mean, if people are motivated and people are excited to see that fight, then I'm just excited for it. You know, I just got to prepare and just be ready for when the opportunity comes.
Absolutely. Shout out to William Box in the chat. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Amilcar.
Yeah, David, great to have you on here again. I spoke to you, I think it was a year ago, and we asked you about Caleb Plant. So I'm not going to ask you about that again. First of all, I'm glad to see that you're back at 168 pounds. As a fan of yours, I know a lot of fans of yours think that that's like your ideal weight and where you're going to be able to do the most right now at this point of your career. I'd actually like to talk about a guy who's about the same age as you, but maybe people don't really realize it. You're just way more experienced than he is. Hector Berlanga. This is a guy who's getting a lot of hype right now. What are your thoughts on him? Is that somebody that you might fight? Because a lot of the names that we keep hearing about, they don't really seem to want to get into the ring with you.
I mean, it definitely, if we can make that fight happen. I mean, me and my team, we try to make that fight happen in our last fight. So, I mean, we didn't really get no reply or nothing. But, I mean, he's getting hyped for a good reason. You know, I mean, he has 17 fights, 16 knockouts in the first round. You know, he's Puerto Rican. You know, he's knocking people out, you know, really good. So, these are the type of challenges I want to take for myself. These are the type of challenges I want to take on for myself, just to see that I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going in the route I'm supposed to take. You know, I feel like I want to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. I want to be a Hall of Famer. So I got to fight multiple great fighters, multiple world champions, and these high-level prospects. And if I want to be a Hall of Famer, so that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Edgar Berlanga, he knows that I want to fight with him, and I'll make it happen right now. If we can, I'd love to make it. I'd love to make it happen right now. I mean, it would probably be a pay-per-view. You know, it'd probably be a shitload of people that attend the fight. You know, because he's Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican, so there's a lot of hype behind that fight too. So I mean, why wouldn't I want to get it made? I've been professional almost. I think this is my 8th year professional. Next year is gonna be 9 years professional. So I mean, I feel like I'm a young veteran, man. I'm 24 years old, but I'm a young veteran in there. And, you know, I'll fight whoever right now. I want a little bit of excitement.
Absolutely. And you've moved to the Pacific Northwest, right? You've relocated up there?
Yeah, I'm in Seattle, Washington.
What were your reasons for moving up there? Because it's not really like an area that you hear a lot about when it comes to boxing. People think of, you know, Sean Kemp, Jimi Hendrix. I don't know if they really think of boxing when they think of Seattle. Why'd you move up there?
No, it's not a big boxing state at all. And the reason I moved out here is because I met the mother of my child, you know, so that's the big reason why I moved out here. But
there you go.
The thing about me is, man, I train all the time. I only take like 2 years. I only take 2 weeks off after I'm done. But then after that, when I go to training camps, I pick wherever I want to go, and I'll make the training camps happen. So I went to Big Bear, my last fight. You know, I'm gonna go back to Big Bear, or, you know, whatever. That's the good thing about, you know, you could. You know, I've been in so much places. I've lived Texas. I lived in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Oregon, Seattle. So I mean, I know all the gyms, and I got love for all the people. From all the people, I go everywhere. So wherever I want to make my training camp happen, I'll go make it happen. But the reason why I moved to Seattle is, you know, I mean, it's nice over here. It's beautiful. I feel like it's a nice spot to raise a family. So that's why I made the decision to move out here.
Makes sense, man. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
Jay Funky, what's going on, brother? Go ahead.
Hey, David, I want to ask you some questions, man. But first, I want to make a comment. I love your attitude and the way that you speak about boxing, how you just say, look, I'm just going to let these things come to me. I keep winning. I keep fighting the guys that put in front of me. Eventually, they're going to have to come see me. You're not bitching and moaning about money like a lot of these guys. But my question is this: do you feel like a lot of these newer generation fighters have let money get in the way of their competitive nature of wanting to see who's the best out there? I feel like a lot of guys always talk about the money when I don't really hear you talk that much about it, man. Do you think that that's become a problem in boxing?
I mean, I think so, man. I feel like I've been making, good amount of money for my age since I won the belt, man. I won the belt when I was 20 years old. So, I mean, I've been living pretty comfortable. I feel like these other people, sometimes they just aim for the moon, and sometimes they'll get it, and sometimes they don't. But I mean, a lot of times these dudes just price themselves out, and it's not only about the money. It's because they really don't want to fight. A lot of people say 60-40, 70-30, all that type of bullshit. I feel like, if you guys want to, get the most out of I think you guys should just do 40, whoever it is, 40-40 if it's a pay-per-view fight, 40-40, and then the winner gets the extra 20%. That's how I always looked at it. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not a bad thing that we're getting paid good, because you can look at the UFC, those dudes are they're getting messed up. But it's a good thing and a bad thing at the end of the day that we're getting, good amount of money. But some people, they just take advantage of it, man. They just try to, and then they leave so much good fights on the table because they just can't come up, they can't come up in the negotiations of the price. So I think it's bad, but I mean, what can you do? Sometimes these people, they just don't want to fight. They just use that as an excuse to not make the fight happen.
I agree. I was very, very disappointed in Charlo's response after he called you out, and then you said, let's get this thing on. Then he's like, well, is he vaccinated? He's got to be over a certain age. Like, that's just, I don't understand this new age of fighter, man. Like this kind of talk, I just don't get it.
Yeah, but he's not a new age though. He's already like 32 years old, man. I mean, I'm the new age. He's not. I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit about him. I mean, but like so I seen when I fought, and then they interviewed Charlo or whatever. Then he had his little rant, like he always has his fucking rants, because that's all he likes to do is run his mouth. He had his little rant saying, oh yeah, David Benavidez gets his too much. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to put him to sleep. I'm like, all right, cool. We about to get this fight. I call my people. I said, what's up with when this fight going to be made? Like, no, we didn't hear nothing. This guy's just talking shit. And then after saying that he's not going to fight, he's not going to move up to 168, that he doesn't want to put his life on the line, that he doesn't want to mess up a potential fight with him and Canelo. Honestly, I feel like Jermell Charlo, he's the last in the line to probably fight with Canelo. Canelo don't even mention the name. He's not even in the weight class where Canelo's actually, campaigning in right now. But if you wanted to get close to that fight, I'm right here. That would I don't think Canelo would have had a problem fighting the winner of David Benavidez or of me and Jermell Charlo, because it would be a great matchup, and it would be a great, it could have been like a title eliminator, and then the winner fights for the title for the WBC. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a great setup, and, I was obviously getting ready for that. But then you see the type of fight he took. Who is he fighting? I mean, no disrespect to the person he's fighting, but, I think I've only seen Montiel fight once. He's a good fighter too, but come on, Charlo needs to step it up a little bit, man.
I agree, especially after he had, in what my opinion was his best opponent to date, Derevyanchenko. Then you come back with this, very disappointing. Now, I'm going to ask you one more question. I'm predicting, and this is just a prediction, man, because I'm just a fan. I'm not in the business, but I'm hoping that if Plant takes a fight with Canelo, I think he's going to beat Plant, become undisputed. I hope that he gives you a chance. You guys could fight next year, Cinco de Mayo. I think you're the guy that gives him the most problems and could possibly beat him. I feel like you have the physical tools, the hand speed, the volume. I know you'd be willing to take that fight, man. So, is that a thing, man? Are you ready for that or what?
Well, exactly, man. This is what I've been prepared for my whole life. And, I don't see why that wouldn't happen. This is going to be my second title eliminator fight, and I'm training extremely hard. Everything is, I'm going to go in there, get this victory. So, I don't see why it wouldn't, it wouldn't happen next year, But, things always happen. So, I just got to be prepared for anything. I feel like with the type of fighter I am, Canelo hasn't fought somebody in a long time, like the type of fighter I am that throws body shots, has a great jab, great speed, is physically bigger than him, longer arms. I understand Canelo, he has a lot of experience. He's a great fighter, and he's been doing amazing lately, but I mean, I feel like I do a lot of the same things as him. Great body shots, and those are the body shots that those really hurt people, And I'm that's what I specialize in. I throw great body shots as well. That's why when he stops everybody with the body shots, I can do the exact same thing. Because on this side, I'm doing the exact same thing too. So there's a lot of similarities in the style. I mean, there's a couple things I need to work on, just to be prepared for Canelo. But I'm willing to do it, and I feel like the fans, they're as soon as this fight is announced, man, everything's gonna go crazy, man, because this is. Everybody knows this is potentially could be one of the fights of the decade.
Yeah, absolutely. Some questions from the chat here. DG is asking, Bandera, you looking in shape and you got a fight date. Canelo aside, who would you like the most in the fall or December? You have anybody in mind besides Canelo?
Yeah, Charlo, man. That's the fight I still want to get. I'm gonna be talking a little bit more shit to maybe put a little pressure on this dude to hopefully he accepts the fight. I mean, I've been hearing that he's gonna come up to 168, so. Man, hopefully Charlo. Who else we got? Caleb Plant, be a great fight. Berlanga. Those are 3 great names right there that I'd love to take. I'll definitely take those fights, in a heartbeat. So, like I said, man, I'm just waiting for my spot, man. The good thing about me is I got time on my side. All these guys are older than me. I still got another 10 years left in this box. I just turned 24 years old, so I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a hurry either. So, I'm the opportunity.
So with that said, do you think it'll be smarter for Canelo to fight you now instead of him getting older and you getting more experience?
That's a question you have to man. I mean, I'm ready to fight him now. I don't know. I feel like the older I get, now like I said, I have 8 years professional in boxing. I feel like I'm getting a lot of experience. I'm getting stronger. I'm finally getting like my man strength. And I'm not even in my prime yet. Nowhere close to being in my prime, and I feel, I just feel amazing from all the work I've put in. So, if he fights me now or later, it's not going to make no difference. It's going to be the same result.
Yeah. Now, H Money in the chat is asking, ask Benavidez about sparring Edgar Berlanga. Anything you could let us know about that?
There was a video that came out talking about me sparring Berlanga. I never sparred Berlanga, and there's one that says that Eric dropped him. I never said that either. I said I seen a couple fights in the amateurs where he gets dropped. I never said Erickson Lubin. I said he was having a tough time with Erickson Lubin because I seen a clip on Instagram, but I've never sparred Edgar Berlanga, and obviously Lubin didn't drop him, but I don't know if you guys have seen, he's been dropped a couple times in an amateur fight. So that's just right there to answer your question.
What are your thoughts of David Morrell, another PBC fighter? What are your thoughts on him? David Benavidez.
He's a good fighter, man. He's very technical. He's very fast. He has that, that good Cuban amateur background style because he came from Cuba, right? He was on the Cuba. Yeah. So he's a great fight. He's a great fighter too. Obviously that would be a great fight to make happen, and it can happen too. We're in the same promotion company, and obviously we're in the same weight. So that would be a great fight to make happen too.
He's got the regular title for whatever that's worth, right? And it's right there under Canelo.
Shit, but that's still a WBA title, so I'll love to fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, since you are ranked #1 by the WBC, do you envision yourself becoming Canelo's mandatory at some point next year?
I should have been the mandatory for him already. I just won a title eliminator, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't be denied the fact to fight Canelo if I win my next title eliminator, because that's who do you even hear fighting 2 title eliminators in a row? Like, it just makes no sense. But if that's what I gotta go through. I know I'm the one who dropped the ball on the weight, all that stuff, lost the title. So I don't got nobody to blame but myself. So if I got to fight 4 or 5 title eliminators in a row, then that's what I got to do.
Yeah. The GOAT is asking, what is your response to Plant saying in an interview today he tried to make the fight happen with Samson, turned down the fight down because he said David wasn't ready for Plant and he needed more time?
Bro, and you believe that?
No.
Because it's fucking mouth, bro. If you would have made the fight happen, you think I would have denied the fight? It just
no.
There's a lot of people are just out here lying and stuff, bro. It's just, if you guys don't want to fight, just don't try to fucking make up lies saying that you try to send me a contract and that. If you would have tried to, okay, why is that barely coming out now that he's saying that? If that fucking whatever the video he was talking about was like 4 years ago, why is he saying that now? It's always a fucking excuse after excuse. If he wanted to fight me, I would have definitely fought him instead of him fighting what's the guy he just fought?
Truex.
Truex.
we could have made the fight happen versus me and him. We're in camp at the same time. So if he would have really wanted to fight me, why didn't he make the fight happen? It would have been, he would have made way more money if that's what he's looking for. He's looking for money, supposedly. He would have made way more money, and, you know, people would have respected him more taking the fight with me than taking the fight with Truex. You know what I mean? So there's a whole bunch of people, you know, it's lying, saying, you know, stupid shit, man. If you guys wanted to fight me and send me a contract, I would accept it. I don't run from nobody.
David, based on his track record here, and we're hearing reports that he may want X amount of millions to fight Canelo because it's an undisputed fight, even though he's bringing one belt to the table, just like Billy Joe did. Do you see himself pricing himself out of this fight?
Could possibly happen, man. I don't think he'll price himself out of the fight, only because, you know, I think Canelo, he really wants, you know, really wants to be undisputed, and there's never been an undisputed champion at 168. So for whatever he has to pay him, I think, you know, he's gonna end up having to pay him. I don't think. How much did Billy Joe Sanders get? 8. He got 8.
Reportedly, yeah.
I think that's more than enough for him. I mean, what did Caleb Plant for his last fight? $750,000.
Yeah.
I don't know how you go from this and you want, you
so
know,
10 times more.
Well, what do you make of this, David? Because Plant's argument is, right, and without putting words in your mouth, I want to know what you think, but this is what he said. He said, you know what, this fight, I should get paid more than Billy because this one's for undisputed. Like, what do you think of that? Because that's the argument Plant's making.
I really, honestly, I don't know what to say to that, bro. I mean, it's undisputed. Okay. I mean, I understand the magnitude in the fight, but Canelo's bringing the other belts. He's bringing all the other belts. He went out and got him. This guy only had 1 belt. So, I mean, I don't understand what, you know, he's trying to make it seem like he's the, you know, he's the one that went and collected all the belts where they got 2 and 2, you know.
Right.
The reason I've never liked Caleb Plant, bro, is because he says dumbass shit like that. He always thinks he's like the second coming of Mayweather, or there's always some stupid shit happening. But if you look at his track record, you know, he talks like he's a killer, but in the ring, he can't finish people. So if you can't finish people in the ring, then you're not a killer, bro. Stop trying to act like you're a killer. You're not. Okay, he fought. Okay, since he won the title from Muskateki, bro, he's fought nothing but weak ass fucking competition, bro. Like it's ridiculous. Like he fought. Was it Mike Lee? He fought
Feigen Buns.
Truex.
That's it.
Like,
That's it.
What the fuck, bro? What is that?
Like, we ran out of names. We ran out of names to say.
He also Porky Medina, though, David. Come on now. He fought Porky. I said he also
Porky
fought
Medina.
Porky Medina, though. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
For a belt. That wasn't for a. I'm saying after he won the title.
Yeah, I know. I'm joking.
Yeah. Raider from LA wants to ask, like the Ustakiri fight. I mean, what are the chances that you become number 1 IBF mandatory and request a number 1 against Caleb Plant?
I mean, that could happen too, but I mean, I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of running around, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people saying that the this and that, but I mean, the easiest thing we can handle all this stuff is we can fight. I mean, I feel like even after Caleb Plant fights Canelo, I would still love to fight Caleb Plant after, win or lose. I mean, even if no belt or no belt, I would love to fight him. I feel like the easiest way we could all just figure this shit out is just fight each other, and then we'll see who the best is, who ends up at the top.
I love that. I love that mentality.
So David, you don't usually have beefs with people. Where did this beef with Caleb Plant stem from? I mean, you mentioned he talks a lot of trash, but it has to like be deeper than this, because like you're cool with everybody. I never see you like have a bad word to say about anybody. But and I'm not saying he doesn't say bad words about you, so I'm not saying he doesn't elicit a response from you. But where did this all stem from?
I mean, there's been a lot of not beefs, but it's just, I feel like it's just like what is that called? That word called? It's just like rivalries, man. I mean, that's how it has to be. I mean, I feel like people don't think I'm talking shit to people because I come off like, you know, as a cool guy, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of fucking people I don't like, and you know, my weight division, a lot of people in boxing I don't like. But you know, I mean, I'm not gonna, the way I want to come out, I want to come out off as a professional and all that. But Caleb Plant, man, this always, ever since I first met the guy, you know, and there was a video, I don't know if you guys seen it, him and my brother get into it, and then he sucker punched and all that. Yeah. Like, okay, he sucker punches my brother, then runs behind his trainer. You know what I mean? That's like some sucker shit right there. But I mean, whatever, man. I mean, it is what it is. I'm never like that guy. I'm never gonna like him, even after we fight. I mean, I never want to be cool with him at all. So I mean, that's just how that is.
Hey, I mean, you're not in the game to make friends, right? So at the end of the day,
some personalities just don't mesh. That's the way.
yeah.
Well, I think also it's one thing to talk shit about a guy's skills or that you think that you'll beat him. It's another thing to talk about people's personal lives and stuff like that. I mean, that kind of came up in our last interview, and I know I can definitely relate to that as well. Like, just keep it in the boxing. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
as far as Ukasi goes, do you feel like I mean, is there a little bit of like I'm gonna beat him better than Plant did or something? Is there something in there that you want to prove a point beyond just winning? Like you want to just really beat him up to give a message to people like, look, Plant ain't all that. Like, look at what I did to the dude like he beat. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's definitely the plan that we're gonna do. But my plan is always the same thing. Whatever fighter it is, it doesn't matter who fought him before. I want to go in there and stop people, just to show everybody the type of person I am, the type of fighter I am. I feel like that's why a lot of people like me, and that's why a lot of people, they really support me and they're really behind me, because it doesn't matter if everything there. If there was no trash talk during the lead up to the fight, or if there was trash talk, I'm gonna still go in there and try to end you, man. Like if I hate you, no matter what. But it's because that's the type of fighter I want to be. That my idols are the same way. Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, Marco Antonio Barrera. They'd all go in there and they're trying to, really dismantle everybody. And that's the type of fighting style I've had since I was a little kid. So, it's going to continue. It's always going to continue being like that.
Now, a lot of people say it's the young generation that's talking a lot about money more so than the fights and stuff. But like you're the youngest one out of all of them, and obviously you are a prize fighter, and of course you want to get paid for the work you do and putting everything on the line. But in your opinion, where do you think it comes from with these fighters that talk like they need a big package, like they need to be paid like this amazing lump sum of money to take a risk? And it's usually against guys like you, like they really feel like they need to be compensated to take a risk against somebody like you, someone dangerous like you. Do you think like you're not wired that way because you maybe have confidence they don't? Do you think it's a confidence thing? Like, what do you think that is?
To be honest, man, I'm not really too sure, and I really can't speak on how other fighters think. I could just tell you how I feel, but I feel like I really think it was the past generations, really kind of like gave everybody that mentality. Like at first it was Floyd, and everybody's seen how successful Floyd was, so I feel like they're trying to follow his blueprint. They're trying to feel like, we're going to ask for this crazy amount of money, and they're going to give it to us because they have to give it to us. No, they don't have to give it to you. You know what I mean? And then after Floyd, it was Broner. So, I mean, I think it's just seeing stuff from like other like fighters, like other past generations. I feel like that's why all this talk about money and all this stuff. I mean, obviously everybody wants to get paid, and we do deserve to get paid, but sometimes people, they just overprice themselves. And I feel like it's because of, definitely just because of what I just mentioned, Floyd and Adrian Broner and Gervonta Davis and all that.
Okay. Go ahead, Chief Funky and Milcar, you got any questions?
Yeah, I have a question about something that I heard in the past. Is there any truth to you potentially having a fight with Triple G? Alex Ariza, I think, said you guys used to spar. Is there any truth to that, or is it just an internet rumor?
To a fight? No, not a fight. I used to spar him. Yeah, I started sparring Triple G. When I first met him, I was 15 years old. My first time I sparred him, and that was before he made his HBO debut. And he liked the sparring session so much that he invited me back for years and years. I think the last time I sparred him was for the Triple G and Daniel Jacobs. That was the camp, and I was always his main sparring partner. And I always got some great working with the guy. And honestly, just speaking out of all the people I've met and like all the mentors I've had, I feel like Triple G has been one of the best persons I've ever met. He's very generous, he's very nice, very humble, and that's why I kind of wanted to be like him, because I mean, you don't see that guy on the street and you don't think nothing of it, but if that guy gets his hands on you, he'll fucking kill you. You know what I mean? Like in a boxing standpoint. So I feel like that's kind of the style I wanted to take and the style I wanted to approach, because everybody loves him, everybody loves Triple G, but in the ring, you can't mess with him. And he's a great person. But like I said, I'm just very fortunate to go up there and I've been sparred Triple G. But as to a fight, no, I've never been in talks about any fight with Triple G.
Okay.
Now you have talked a lot about. I see some interviews of yours that you've already addressed enough about missing weight 2 fights ago. You did make weight on your last fight, but what I want to ask you is, how comfortable were you making the weight, and do you feel comfortable where you could still stay at this weight class for a couple of years, or will you be moving up to 175 soon?
No, I felt more comfortable, bro, staying at the weight class, 168. I think it was just trying to show everybody I can make it and make the weight, and I have no problem doing that. There's a lot of trash talk, a lot of people saying all this stuff, but I was on weight a week, like before the weigh-in. You know what I mean? And just to show everybody I could stay on there. I think what I just had to do is, I'm not using no excuses or none of that, but when I missed the weight, everything. My girlfriend was pregnant, going through all this stuff, and it really kind of puts a little bit of a stress on you, especially when going through COVID, having a baby, fights getting canceled, all this stuff. But I paid the price. But right now, I feel like I could be at super middleweight for at least 3 or 4 more years. I feel very comfortable right now, especially after I've been taking care of myself. And I weighed today. I weighed myself. I was at 190 after training. And I'm not even trying to lose weight or nothing. So 21 pounds is nothing. And I still got 15 weeks left to my fight. So by the time I leave here, I want to be 184. And it's super. Especially was like 14 pounds in 10 weeks. It's nothing. It's nothing. So I'm very comfortable right now.
You were in the bubble too, right? When you missed weight as well, which was a new situation for you, right?
The bubble, man. That's the most strict bubble I've ever been to. The one in Connecticut. You couldn't even leave the floor. You couldn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? And I just didn't know. When I really needed the sauna and be able to run outside and all that stuff. To make the weight for that fight. I couldn't make the weight for that fight. It's just things I didn't have access to make the weight. And then also only being allowed to go downstairs to the gym where they only have a treadmill and elliptical for 1 hour. 1 hour a day, and that was it. So you get there and you're quarantined for 2 days. So we left Monday, quarantine Monday, Tuesday. We had Wednesday and Thursday to basically make the weight. And I was just not prepared for it, bro. I think it wasn't not that I couldn't make the weight. It was just not being prepared for, what I had access to and what I didn't have access to.
David, if Canelo and Caleb Plant end up unifying and getting that matchup this year, how do you see that fight playing out? And do you think Caleb Plant even has a shot to win that fight, in your opinion?
I feel like the type of fighter that Canelo is and the type of fighter that Caleb Plant is, I feel like Caleb Plant probably start good the first couple rounds, but if you really pay attention, Caleb Plant, he kind of seems to run out of gas, the last 4 rounds. And I feel like with Canelo, you can't at all. You have to be, really on top of your game and in every single moment of the fight. So I feel like, Canelo, I feel like he knocks out Caleb Plant. Hopefully he doesn't, because I want to be the first one to knock out Caleb Plant. So,
Well, look, if that fight doesn't happen, let's say for whatever reason, and I don't want just let's say whoever's fault it is, regardless of that, let's say Plant doesn't fight Canelo, and Plant said he has options, right? He's like, I don't need Canelo, I have options, he said. So I'm assuming he's talking about you and maybe Charlo. I don't know who else you could really fight at the moment. Let's say you get the fight with Plant, which I'm sure you really want, right? And you win that fight. How easy would it be to make a fight with you and Canelo?
It'll definitely be easier because I have a title. I feel like the only reason I'm having a hard time to get Canelo right now is because I don't have a title, and he's going the other route trying to get the other titles. So definitely, and I feel like if I face Caleb Plant, I beat him, I get a title, it'll be that one step closer to making that fight happen.
Yeah.
Man, all these are the right answers. You're the easiest dude to interview. Usually we gotta be careful with fighters so we don't make them mad, But I get the sense that you'll literally fight anybody.
Even for you guys, I can't. There's some I watch interviews and stuff, and these people they treat the reporters like shit, or they try to make them feel stupid about themselves for asking this question. I can't. This is your guys' job, man, and it's my job to be prepared to answer every single one of these questions. Definitely, I've been telling you guys for a year now that I'll fight anybody, and that's not a lie. I will fight anybody, but like I said, man, I'm just waiting for my opportunity, and time is on my side. I'm working extremely hard right now. I'm extremely motivated. My son, he's 8 months, so I feel like that was the other extra piece I needed to, just be the best version of myself I could be. I was already extremely motivated before him, and now after, I just want to give him everything he needs, and I want him, when he gets older, I want him, to with confidence and tell all his friends that, yeah, my dad was the baddest motherfucker at the time. So, that's exactly what I'm working for. I'm working for him and his future.
We've got a question from my comrade Nopal, and they're asking where you got your nickname from.
Well, so my promoter, Samson Lukowicz, he kind of gave me the nickname. I feel like, I didn't really like it at the time, to be honest with you, because, fucking red flag, like, what the fuck does that mean? But it's like, but it's like he said, the way he explained it to me, he said it signified danger. Like, if you go into a bull pit and people are waving red flags, imagine just seeing that, if I fight Canelo, all my fans are waving the red flags, man, with my logo on it. It's going to be like he's walking into a bull pit. I just want to let everybody know, too, that I'm here and I'm not going nowhere. I'm here for my people, my raza, you know what I mean? So I'm not going nowhere, and I'm going to fight. Always, I'm going to fight 100% and with all my heart, always.
Best talent scout in the game, Samson.
That's right. That's right. H Money wants to know, who is your favorite fighter of all time? If you could just pick one, who would it be?
Nah, I can't just pick one, bro. Honestly, I can't pick there's so much fighters that are fucking like amazing. Everybody does something so good. Like, one of my top ones, I would have to say, is Prince Nassim Hamed. He just had a different style, but crazy power. And I think the thing I liked about him is he was so flamboyant. I feel like he was the first Mayweather before Mayweather. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean? He just brought something different to the game, and he definitely had great power. My second one is Oscar De La Hoya. Third, Felix Trinidad. Fifth, Roy Jones Jr. And Marco Antonio Barrero, Sugar Ray Leonard, Robert Duran, Alexis Arguello. Bro, it's too much. It can't be just one. It's just too much.
You're naming all my favorite fighters from the past, man. I love that.
Speaking of other fighters, we've got a big fight this weekend, undisputed fight. Are you going to be watching it? And if so, can you make a prediction?
Oh, definitely, man. Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor, man, both those guys, amazing fighters. It's going to be a great unification fight for the division. But I feel like Jose Ramirez has more momentum on the side. I feel like he has more weapons than Josh Taylor. Obviously, if you have a great left hook to the body, man, you can stop the fight whenever. It's just you finding the opportunity to land that shot. And the thing about Jose Ramirez is he doesn't just throw one. Sometimes he doubles up the left hook to the body, and people do not expect that. He has great jab, great combinations. But Josh Taylor, he's a great boxer too. He has great speed. But I feel like this is, I got to be with my people, man. I'm not disrespecting nobody, but Jose Ramirez is my friend too, and he's a great fighter, and I'm a fan of him. So I think Jose Ramirez is going to win. That's
what I'm talking about. Now, Dave, I want to ask you something. Now, I know you just said a few minutes back that you still have quite a few years at 168. But I mean, we look at you, you're physically much bigger than most of the guys as far as height. Where do you see yourself ending your career at? What weight? Do you think you'll be light heavyweight, cruiserweight, or where do you think that you'll end up?
I think, to be honest, bro, I think I want to do 175 and then maybe cruiserweight when I get older. I've already been a big boy one time, 250 pounds. I don't want to go back to being that, especially if I retire, you know what I mean? So I think 168, 175, and then maybe cruiserweight. But, we'll see. We'll see what things take us down the road.
Absolutely. Now, I know you just named off a lot of fighters that were your favorite fighters from the past. Now, I want to ask you this question about fighters from the past. Which fighter do you take most inspiration from and use their style in the ring, or have you is it a variety of fighters that you kind of combine?
Oh, and then also too, I forgot to mention one of my favorites too is Manny Pacquiao. I can't forget Manny Pacquiao, but I feel like I don't know. The thing about me, bro, I just try to take something from everybody I liked and then just try to apply it to my style. But the one person I always try to challenge myself. And try to be like is Manny Pacquiao, because I just love his combinations. So that's where I kind of get the motivation to throw punches and bunches and do stuff like that. Because I feel like, if you land 4 or 5 shots, it looks better than just landing one shot. So I feel like I kind of get my that in a sense from Manny Pacquiao. I don't want to say I get my style from Manny Pacquiao. I just feel like I get the speed from him and just other little stuff I do. And also Golovkin and Oscar De La Hoya, his jab. You know, I try to mimic both their jabs, and that's where the jab comes from too.
Yeah, both good jabs. Especially Oscar had one of the best jabs I think I've ever seen in boxing. Yeah, now that you mentioned Pacquiao, and now I'm picturing you fighting in my head, like I could kind of see some of those flurries that you throw. Remind me a little bit of Pacquiao, especially when you got guys up against the ropes and you're looking to finish. I mean, you're just pop, 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 pop. You're all over these guys, man. I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, definitely. And the reason I do that stuff is because I've seen Pacquiao fight live, and I know how the people go crazy. You know, when you land a flurry like that on somebody's on the rope like that, I know how the energy is when you're at home at a carne asada watching the fights and you see something like that, you know. So that's definitely something I love to do. And even the sparring sessions, I try to challenge myself and do stuff like that, you know, like because Manny Pacquiao he's definitely one of my favorites. You know, out of all the favorites I've mentioned, he's definitely one of the top favorites. But, you know, like I said, there's just so much boxers that you know, I'm a student of boxing at the end of the day, and I just try to take things from everybody and just apply it to my style.
Did you see Hamed Kelly live, or did you see that later on?
I was like 3 years old now.
Yeah, I figured.
I was in 2000.
That was a great fight.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen it live at home or if I just seen it like years later. I was really young, but I've seen that fight so many times. But even to this day, I get excited watching that fight. You know, and those you know, I mean, if you know, by the time my career is over, I want people to see, you know, the David Benavidez, you know, they had fights like, you know, old timers. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying I want to go in there and just be reckless and get knocked down here and there, but you know, if the fight brings excitement like that, and that's the only way to take the fight, then you know, that's how we're gonna do it. But those are the fights. Those are really memorable fights that you'll never forget.
Now, there's some questions in the chat about, I've seen several about Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. You did some sparring there?
Yeah, I've known Robert and his family for a long time, man, and they've always invited me to. They train in Riverside, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
because it's Riverside. I get that confused with Oxnard sometimes. And yeah, I've always gone there. I've sparred with all the dudes he had there. I mean, the last time I was there, I sparred 5 dudes or 4 dudes for 15 rounds. Ooh. You know, back to back to back, and you know, Robert, you know, just to try to get the best sparring for his fighters too. He doesn't mind putting them in there with me. So I mean, those dudes, they always show love, man, and you know, they're all great guys all around.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know, when I'm older and I'm old and this like something of you that my grandkids see, what is it that you believe, not just me, fans of boxing will be saying about you and your legacy and your career? What do you want us to say?
I want you guys to say that I was the best of my generation. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, I don't want to say the best boxer ever, you know what I mean? Because there's just so much, and I have so much respect for boxers, but of my generation, that's what I want to be. I want to be the best boxer of my generation. I mean, I know that's a big shoes to fill. You know, it's going to be very hard. There's going to be a lot of work to be done. You know, but I'm willing to do everything in my power to do to make sure that happens.
I want to ask you one more question, man. I seen that you were at the fights on Saturday in Carson. Did you get a chance to see Xavier Martinez fight? And if you did, what did you think of his performance?
I didn't see his fight. I didn't see his fight. I had to actually leave a little early because some stuff was going on. But I seen all the other fights on the highlights and on YouTube and stuff, and the whole card, man, from top to bottom was great. I mean, I had a lot of fun. That was my first time being in a fight since COVID hit, and all the fights were amazing. Even what's his name, Roman? Is it Daniel Roman? He was a great fight. You know, the co-main event was a great fight, and the main event was an amazing fight too. You know what I mean? So and I was a little bit surprised, to be honest with you. I thought the main event was gonna end in the split decision, but man, that guy Figueroa, he's a beast, man. And he deserves all he's getting because he's getting hit with shots, but he got the warrior. You know, he has the warrior's heart. Just like I said, if I have to fight a person like that and I have to keep going, then the last man's gonna stay standing. It's gonna be me. And that's exactly how he fights too. So I mean, he turned me into a fan. You know, he's a great fighter.
He brought the bandera roja, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, David, we would definitely want to thank you, man, for coming on and taking the time. We would definitely appreciate it. We hope to have you back in the future, definitely, especially after your fight. Anything else you want to say to the fans out there watching?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the fans for all the love and support that, they've been following me for a long time in my career. And I just want to say, man, hopefully that they allow me to fight with fans back in the crowd, man, because August 28th is going to be a great fight. Uskataki, you don't back down from nobody. I don't back down from nobody either. So it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be warrant. So from round 1 to whatever round it finishes, and I will be on top and I will win that fight. So I hope you guys can come out and see and come support me, man, because I really do miss all the fans.
Yeah,
Where's the fight
actually, at? We're going to ask you that because we don't know. We couldn't find the location.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's going to be at yet. They just put it out August 28th. But like I'm saying, I'm hoping it's not back in Connecticut because Connecticut is.
How about the Garden? How about the Garden right here in New York? That's where Matt Kelly was.
No, we're gonna be fully open at that time, though. Yeah,
kind of like the Barclays. I like the Barclays a little bit better.
Oh, I'll take the train down to the Barclays. It's not that much farther.
But whatever it's gonna be, I just hope the fans could come through and see the fight, man, because this fight is gonna be fucking action packed from round 1 to whatever round it ends, like I said. So it's gonna be great, man. So hopefully you guys can come through and support.
That's right, guys. Fellow Hispanic causing panic came through. Keep causing panic out there. David Benavidez, La Bandera Roja. Have a good one, brother.
Thank you as well, guys.
Good luck in your fight, man.
There we go, man.